Hey guys, so you're all logged on. This is actually working. Can everybody hear me? Can you hear me? I can't hear myself. Yeah, okay, good. So I want to thank all of you guys who contributed to DonorsChoose. You are the winning group. Amazing. I actually just went to a school this morning in East LA called Belvedere Middle School, and I went to their music class. And I don't know, when I was in middle school, people had trumpets and trombones and what have you. And this class was like rock school. They all had acoustic guitars. There were a couple of keyboardists. There were a couple of bass players. They had a drum kit, and they performed a song that it was an original song. I was so impressed. So if it weren't for a group like DonorsChoose and what you guys do and what you've contributed, they probably wouldn't have the instruments and the materials that they need. So it's a perfect example of why I'm encouraging you to give to this cause. Before we start with the questions, I have one question to answer from Julia, because you started this group. And your question was, if I had to go on the Amazing Race, who would I go on with and why? And I have to apologize, I'm not really that familiar with the Amazing Race, but from what I've gathered about what it is, I would probably take my best friend Danielle, who I'm sure you all know, because you're very resourceful that way. And she's one of my oldest friends. We would probably have a blast together, and that's what I would take. Julia. So now I can just answer other questions? Yeah. Oh, yeah. So here's the thing. I would love to specifically answer them to who asked them, but unfortunately there's a bunch of duplicate questions. You guys are asking the same ones. I'm just going to answer them, and if you know it was your question, then you know it's you. Okay, so the question is, what happened to your fabulous tour jacket? The last time we ever saw the jacket was when Chris was wearing it at the summer tour finale. That's right. It was a little big on him, wasn't it? I actually still have the jacket. For those of you that don't know, the tails were removable. I never used that feature during the tour, but I took the tails off, and I'm waiting for the perfect opportunity to wear the jacket one last time, and then I will probably donate it or do something special with it. This question says, how do you think the stage persona of Adam Lambert and Adam Lambert the person differ, if at all? Are you maybe sweeter and gentler than you let on? Or is the sexually charged Adam the one you display on a day-to-day basis? I don't really know. I'm not that objective about myself, but I think I'm just when I'm on stage, I'm an enhanced, exaggerated version of myself. I don't think it's anything that I'm not when I'm on stage, but I'm definitely, if I live at 100% in my daily life, on stage is about 200%. So I just kind of amplify it and over exaggerate. I am a sexual person, and I am a gentle person, and I am nice. All three things. So I think also it comes out depending on what song I'm singing. Obviously, for a song like "What Do You Want From Me," it's more emotional, it's more vulnerable. I'm not going to be doing pelvic thrusts during that one. As you become more successful, will you be looking to help other artists who are struggling to break into the business as you have done, such as forming your own company to promote singers and entertainers? I think that's definitely kind of part of what I'm about. I have a lot of friends here in Los Angeles and abroad that have been performing for a really long time, that I've worked with for years, other musical theater performers, dancers, clothing designers, artists. These are my goal is to always spread it around. If you have success, you should share it with the people around you and spread karma. I would love to be able to form my own company someday for entertainers. I think that would be amazing. I think it's a ways off, but yeah, that would be great. What's your favorite dessert? Well, as many of you know, I love ice cream, so ice cream it is. I'm also a fan of tiramisu. Really good. I'm aware that you already knew Monty before your Idol experience, but what was the audition process for the rest of your band? How involved were you in it, and why? Or in what way? I actually came to the audition. They had already done a big round of auditions to find, Monty was already set up, and we needed to find a bass player, a keyboard player, and a drummer. And the thing about the band is that there was never, in these initial auditions, it was never that it was going to be Adam Lambert's permanent band for all time. The goal was to find a band for my promo touring experience, which has technically already ended. It was for the first couple months. And we brought in a bunch of people, and there's a gentleman that runs it named Barry Squire, and my management came as well. and oversaw the auditions and narrowed down about 5 people for each instrument for me to look at, the 5 that they thought were great. And Tommy came in, for example, on bass, and the minute he walked in, I loved his look. Definitely glam. Tommy has a great look. He's a good-looking guy. And he actually came in as a guitar player, which he plays as well. I already had Monty in place, so we said, well, this guy seems really cool. What can we do? So he ended up learning all the parts on bass, and he did a great job. And so he was pretty much hired as soon as we knew he could play bass. And Longenu came in, and I loved his look as well. And the minute he started wailing away on those drums, I just knew that he was a superstar. He's incredible on the drums. He keeps time really well. He's really creative with certain rhythms together, and he's a good guy. And then Lisa came in on keys, and she's fabulous. Unfortunately, she's doing some other gigs right now, so I'm working with some other people, but no ill will. It's nothing negative. It's just the way it works. But I love my band. I think they're great. We actually have a guy named Zach, who was with us from the get-go. He was actually doing off-stage programming, because there's a lot of stuff that has to be mixed in with keyboards and background vocals and things like that. He came on and mixed from the get-go, and now he's actually playing keyboards on stage for the past couple performances. And I know you guys all know that I'm really into astrology. The coolest thing is that Longenu and Zach are both Aquariuses like myself. And many of you know I'm a Libra rising. Tommy is a Libra, double Libra. He's also a Libra rising. So astrologically, we all mesh very, very well. Name one thing that never fails to make you smile. No. I love goofy humor. Like, I love when people do silly voices and faces and characters. I love that style of humor. Name a song you'd like to cover on your tour. Well, I've been doing a lot of covers. You guys know what I love. I think it'd be fun to do Sweet Child of Mine would be really fun by Guns N' Roses. I think it would be fun to do Enter Sandman by Metallica, but kind of like change it. There's a handful that I would really like to do. I don't know. Let me keep thinking on that. You and your band have a great dynamic. What is your favorite thing about each band member? Again, I love the astrology of the situation. It's wonderful. Monty is really funny. He's very dry, his sense of humor. He says things, and sometimes it takes me a minute, and I'm like, oh, what? I also love that he's absolutely incredible at the guitar. Many of you know that we've written together in the past, and that's how I knew him. We were in a band together called the Citizen Vane a couple years ago, and we've written a bunch of songs together, and he's a really creative guy, and he's very loyal, and he's got a good heart. He has a big family. His wife Lisa and him have 2 kids and 2 on the way, and he's just a great guy. Longenu is great because I look at Longenu and he knows what I'm thinking. I don't even have to say it. He's great with eye contact. If I look at him, he knows. He always knows. He's very aware. And I like him as a musician, obviously, and I also think that he's very impressive in that he kind of lives in his own world, and that's not a knock against him at all. It's kind of incredible. So it's like he lives in his own wavelength, and it's a cool one. And then Tommy, I love Tommy. He's a straight dude, but he's like open, and he's different, and he's not afraid to embrace his feminine side, which I wish more straight men were willing to do. He accepts it, he embraces it, he loves wearing his makeup and getting his hair done and his outfits just as much as I do. So that's what we share in common, is that aesthetic, that glam rock attitude. What else do I have here? If you could instantaneously be an expert musician with one instrument, which instrument would you choose to play? I would be torn between the piano and the guitar. And I don't play either of them, unfortunately. I'm not very patient with learning new skills. Since I was a kid, I tended to be somebody that liked to just go after whatever I was kind of good at first go. And there's too much practice involved in playing an instrument. Singing is a little bit more, it just kind of comes out. It's a little more just natural for me. So, when it comes to songwriting, what is your favorite part, lyrics or melody, and what comes easiest to you? You know, I don't think I could pick a favorite. I think that it's kind of, they kind of come in and out that way. I mean, sometimes when you're working on writing a song, you have like a beat or a chord progression already put into place, and you snake a melody through that chord progression, and it comes easily. Sometimes the words kind of dictate what the melody needs to be, because if you wanted to emphasize a certain word, if you were saying it, you need to emphasize it musically. For example, like, I didn't write "What Do You Want From Me," but for like that, the hook, "What do you want from me?" The emphasis musically is put on the "want," just like you would say, "What do you want from me? What do you want from me?" It's this. It's vocally the melody. It like mirrors the way that the lyrics are intended. So sometimes it's two and one. What else? If you had not been born under Aquarius, which other sign would have best suited you? You guys know I love my astrology, man. Well, I'm actually an Aries moon, and I think as I've gotten older and gone through what I've gone through, I think I'm more in touch with that part of myself, the moon sign, the instinctual kind of primal emotional self, which is what the moon represents. And I think in many ways I have a lot of Aries qualities. So I could see myself being an Aries if I wasn't an Aquarius. And it might be nice if I were an Aries, because then I don't so much. You previously mentioned wishing you could have a video for every song, and talked about wanting to create... Oh, that question got cut off. Yeah, anyway, I think that would be really cool to create a video for every song. I don't know if it's going to happen because it costs money. But in theory, it would be really awesome, because I picked songs that I could visualize things to. Each song on the album, to me, if I close my eyes, I could come up with some sort of concept, or I could see myself moving to, or like I could see a costume associated with it, or a setting. I think that each song has a very strong visual possibility. And hopefully what I'll get to do is, when I tour eventually, which has not been decided yet, we're working on it, I promise. Be patient, please. It's going to happen. It's just the right thing, the right time is important. But hopefully on the tour, what I'll be able to do is visually interpret each song as much as possible on stage, with video content, dancers, costumes, all the things that you would put in video, but do it live. Adam, will you make an appearance on American Idol this season? I'm pretty sure yes. Pretty sure yes, it's happening, but I can't confirm that here. It's kind of early. How often do you have to touch up / dye your hair? By the way, you would make such a fun best friend. Can we go shopping together someday? I have to touch it up a lot, actually. My hair grows like a weed. It's awful. The roots come in and they're like blondish, strawberry colored, and it doesn't go right with this look. And then also, like, the blue fades so quick. I put blue back in it. For a while there, I had taken it out after the summer, but I just put it back in. And yeah, I probably have to do it every 3 weeks or so. Or else it starts looking kind of crummy. And thank you. That would be fun to go shopping. What is the best pickup line you've ever heard and the worst? What is the worst? God, I don't know. No one ever picks up on me. That's the thing. I'm always the one doing it. So maybe if somebody would step up to the plate and ask me out for once, I would know what pickup line was the best and the worst. I don't really know. Yeah, I don't know, guys. I haven't heard any. Other than the experience that helped you decide to participate in the American Idol competition, what is one of your most memorable Burning Man experiences, and/or what is the biggest lesson you took back to the default world and applied to your life? I think Burning Man's really interesting. I think it has to do a lot with unity, and it's almost this utopian concept that they're promoting. There's no money involved. Everything is based on positive thinking, art, dance, music, love. I think what I took away from that experience was I tried to find a community of people that echoed those themes. You know, it's hard when you're in the real world, especially Los Angeles. A lot of people are out here with ulterior motives, and they're hardened, and they're just trying to compete with each other to get through life and to get to the next step. Whereas that community at Burning Man is all about unity and togetherness. So I think those kind of neo-hippie ideas are definitely ones that I hold close to my heart, and I try to live by even today. And they have a lot to do with the type of people I want to hang out with, the people that also share that type of attitude towards life. Good question. What does it feel like to find your fans and audience singing your song lyrics back to you when you perform live? What did it feel like the very first time you noticed it happen? I remember this summer during a couple performances of Mad World, I was close enough to the edge of the stage and it was quiet enough where I could hear people singing along. I think that's great. I think it's awesome. I like that you guys are excited and into it. I think it's awesome. Even this weekend I was in New York doing some concerts and people knew the lyrics to What Do You Want From Me, which was exciting. So I encourage you, sing along. Oh. There's more coming. Only if I whisper. What is the most difficult song on your album to sing live and why? We haven't done every single song yet live. We've done the majority of them. Soaked is tough. I mean, that's a real ballad. That one's hard. Actually, If I Had You is a really difficult song to sing. I don't really know why. I think just the rhythm of it and the phrasing, and when it gets in the chorus, just something about what key it's in and the notes. It's tough. It's hard. But I love singing it because I think it's a dope song. Hey Adam, I love your song Sleepwalker, and it made me wonder, do you ever walk or talk in your sleep? Or maybe even sing in your sleep? Well, you know, I actually don't think I am a sleepwalker. Someone told me I spoke in my sleep once, but I don't think it's a real recurring thing. Yeah, I don't think I do. We know that you and Lady Gaga briefly discussed the There He Goes line in Fever and decided to just go for it. Are there any eyebrows at 19 RCA raised, or did they sort of fly under the radar? You know, I'm really lucky. My management and the label that I'm on have been incredibly supportive, and I'm not just being PC by saying that. They have been behind me 100% in what I wanted to do creatively, and they know it's time to progress as an artist in society a little bit. You know, the simple fact of the matter is that it's not really RCA and 19 that dictate how a lot of this works. Radio stations have a lot of power, and they kind of dictate what happens and what doesn't work. And unfortunately, sometimes there's certain lyrics in songs that are controversial, and I know that there's probably a lot of radio programmers out there that don't want to scare away their viewers, and I can understand that. So it's really a simple game of kind of going, what can we do that's easily digestible and non-offensive? Radio is on everywhere. It's easily accessed. It has to be appropriate. But Gaga and I sat down when we were recording Fever, and the There He Goes line, I said, well, I can't say There She Goes because no one's going to believe that. And I don't want to say There You Go because it's kind of cool that we're talking about the same sex. I mean, it's the one song on the album that specifically references the member of the same sex. And I think that's cool. That's a part of who I am as a person and as an artist, and I don't think it's a big surprise. Everybody knows what my orientation is, so why can't I have a lyric kind of fitting that? Oh, and a side note to that also is that she said, oh, well, we can record another version that says, there you go, you know, in case it comes out as a single on the radio so that people will be okay with it. And then we sat there and thought about it for a minute in silence. And we both looked at each other and went, no. She said, yeah, because if you do that, then you're going to piss off all the other people who like the fact that you're singing about a guy. And I was like, I know, right? So stick to your guns, right? That's what Lady Gaga does, and I'm inspired by that. Would you ever go back to your natural hair color or drastically change your style? Do you feel locked into the dark hair and nail polish makeup thing now that's become your signature? I don't know. I guess I'm just going to go with my gut. I mean, I probably will want to experiment with a different look at some point, and when I want to, I will. The natural hair color, probably not. I look like Opie, and it's just freckles and strawberry blonde hair are not very rock and roll to me, and I look 12 that way. So I like to look a little more exotic, a little bit more over the top, theatrical. I like the dark pops. I could see myself maybe bleaching it one day to like that white color. That'd be kind of fun, but no time soon. Don't worry. Don't worry. What's the craziest thing that has happened unexpectedly while you're on stage, and how did you react to it? Oh, when that chick threw a dildo at me in Toronto, that was unexpected. It hit me in the leg during a whole lot of love, and I kicked a whole lot of that love right back. Didn't expect that. No more sex toys on stage, guys. Come on. Although I kind of laughed. It was kind of funny. But don't throw it at me. If you're going to throw something on stage, just throw it onto the stage. Don't throw it at me. It's not necessary. Would you ever do another reality show like The Amazing Race or Adam's Rock of Love? I think I had my fill of reality TV. I'm really thankful for American Idol. It put me where I am today. But I want to really focus more on making music and things that go with my music. Do you read album reviews? And if so, what is the most valid or interesting critique you have heard on your album? Yeah, I do sometimes. I do. I find I'm pretty objective. You know, like when I was on Idol, I liked what the judges had to say to me. I didn't take it personally because it's all constructive, or it can be if you take it that way. I take it with a grain of salt, but I do listen. And one of the things I heard about the album was someone said, I don't know, it's kind of all over the place, and it almost seems like some of the songs are wearing Adam more than Adam's wearing the song. And that's an interesting point of view. I think one of the things that I love about being in the recording industry is that each song is a different experience. You're working with different producers, you're working with different writers, some of them I've written. Also, the songs themselves take on a different character. I tend to find myself vocally taking on characters sonically. If a song's real sexy and kind of intimate, it gets breathy and it gets kind of If a song is like a real robust rock song, it's a different color of my voice. If the song's really pretty and high and falsetto, that's a different color. So I think that that's just kind of part of what makes me who I am as a vocalist, is that I have a bunch of different kind of ways to approach singing. And, you know, if a reviewer feels like they're a little confused on who the identity of that person is at the heart of the song, then maybe they should just come to a live show and then they'll say it's me. When you're feeling insecure, what's the one thing you do that never fails to make you feel fierce? I do feel insecure from time to time, guys. I mean, you know, I've done a lot of work on myself and becoming more confident and comfortable in my own skin, but there are times when I feel insecure. And I think the thing for me is that I feel a lot better about a lot of things if I just talk about it with a friend. So if I'm feeling down about something, I'll pick up the phone and call one of my handful of friends that gets me, that's known me for a long time, that can make me feel better about something. And that's something that I do for those same friends too. So it's definitely, you know, I have a big family of friends, and it's definitely a trade that we give each other. Did you ever go back to your apartment after the finale of Idol, or did you just leave it all behind? Coconut water kefir, by the way. This is very good for you. It's good for your digestion. And I love the taste of coconut. What I'm endorsing? Oh, I'm endorsing us. Let's do that. I didn't say who it was by. Okay. Did you ever go back to my apartment? I did. I moved out right around the end of the year. So I had been holding on to it, and I was subletting it to a friend, and I recently got all my stuff out of there, and it was really weird going back to it, because right after I got off the tour this summer, I moved into a house that I'm renting. But I still had my apartment. I was just holding on to it just in case. And, yeah, it was weird getting everything out of there. It's strange. I lived in that apartment for 5 years. It was a studio apartment in Los Angeles, and I lived there for 5 years, and it was a little tiny little shoebox and lots of memories and experiences in there. And now I'm living in a 3-bedroom house that I'm renting, and I've never lived anywhere this big. It's not even that big, but it's just big for me compared to a studio apartment. And I've never had my own house, so it was definitely a slight adjustment. The first couple nights in there by myself, I was like, this place is too quiet and too big for just me. But I've learned to really love it. It's my little sanctuary. Have you ever had a crush on a cartoon character? Yes, I did. I actually had a big crush on Storm in the X-Men cartoon when I was a kid, and then I started dressing up like her, so that was kind of confusing. What's the one song that always makes you happy when you're sad? You know, I've talked about this artist a lot, Goldfrapp. There's some music, if I'm feeling really stressed out or under pressure or busted about something, I put on all of her down-tempo stuff. I put together a little playlist on my computer, and it just makes me breathe and feel at peace and tranquil, and I'll light some candles, and I can relax really quickly with that music. Highly recommend her. What role, if any, does Judaism play in your childhood and or current life? Do you play or do you celebrate any Jewish holidays? Well, I've said this a couple times, and I don't mean this in any sort of negative way, but I'm not that Jewish. I am Jewish. My mom's Jewish. My dad isn't. I went to Hebrew school for about, I think, 6 months to a year when I was about probably like 9 or 10. And those Hebrew videos that are floating around YouTube were actually done for a favor. A friend of mine knew a rabbi here in Los Angeles. It was the High Holy Days. They wanted to get a vocal of some stuff on there, and they were like, it's in Hebrew. And I was like, well, I don't know Hebrew. And so they said, well, you'll learn it phonetically. And it was nice to be asked. It was really cool to be going into temple and being there for those services because I haven't really been that involved in my blood faith in a long time. So it was very interesting, and it was a cool way to get kind of back in touch with my roots. And I learned Hebrew phonetically for those songs, and it was a job. I got paid. You've done so many wonderful photo shoots for various magazines. Thank you. Are you earning money on some of these, or are they just promo deals? Yeah, they don't pay. They don't pay us. It's more to express myself as an artist and to get some cool visual things out there, and also to just create awareness that I'm here and that I have an album. So yeah, I like the fact that I don't need to get paid for that. I like photo shoots. I have a good time with it. Oh, tell us more about the song titled Can't Let You Go, listed on the international release of your album. This was a song that Greg Wells wrote with Claude Kelly, and I recorded it, and I actually really love the song. It's fantastic. It was really difficult trying to narrow down which songs were going to make the initial standard release album. It was a nightmare, because we meaning my A&R team and I, had about 16 songs that were just flawless. I thought they were all great. So we had to figure out which ones kind of fit together for the standard release, which ones kind of fit the mission statement of blending classic rock and disco and dance with current electronic pop rock glam thing. Which ones fit that first and foremost? And Can't Let You Go has a slightly more indie, emo rock type sound to it. The vocal's pretty powerful, though. I'm really excited to have you guys hear it, and it turned out really great. Okay. Do you cook? What are your specialties, and when are you inviting us all over for dinner? Well, all of you could probably fit in my dining room, I'm sure. So, it's really... I don't cook that much. My specialty, I would say, is breakfast food. I'm really good with like a sautéed spinach, egg scramble situation, lots of cheese, veggies cut up in it, some meat. I can do those pretty well. I'm really good at minute rice in the microwave. What do you have in mind for your next tattoo? I've actually been thinking a lot about that. I have this one that you guys probably have seen. And I kind of want to fill up my whole forearm. And I'm thinking maybe peacock feather situation. I love the colors of like turquoise and greens and purples, like all those jewel tones. Yeah, something like a peacock feather thing. It might be a quill saying something. I don't know yet. Maybe have some symbols kind of incorporated into that from astrology, kind of subtly tucked into the feather. I don't know. We'll both see. What are the technology products you can't live or travel without? Obviously, I need my iPhone at all times because it's also my iPod, and I can use Twitter on it, and Facebook, and things like that. Actually, I'm not on Facebook. What am I saying? I mean, I'm on Facebook, but I don't actually. Do I? No, I don't. They're telling me, oh, you should say that you actually do it. I'm not going to lie to you. Management manages the Facebook for me. But I manage my own Twitter, and that is me twittering. So I need that. I always need that. 13, 18, or 21. knowing what you know now, if you could go back to yourself at one or all of those ages, what advice of words of wisdom would you give to yourself? Wow, that's a good question. 13, I think, was the hardest out of those 3 ages because adolescence was happening. I was figuring out things about myself that made me very different. And I think that I would get in my ear and just say, don't be so scared. It'll all fall into place. You're going to be happy. There are others like you. And you have a lot of great things in store for yourself. I would need that self-confidence at that age because that was probably the lowest point. 18, I just graduated from high school. I think I would say, Adam, patience. It's not going to happen overnight. Chill out. And I'd probably say the same thing to myself at 21. I think at 18, I would tell myself also to take some more risks because I was still a little scared of things at that point. Okay. How do you think your friendship with Chris and Allison helped shape your time on Idol? I think with Chris in particular, it was really interesting because we were roommates and such different artists that he actually helped me in identifying with who I was because we were such polar opposites. You know, he would take on that everyman kind of Chris perspective on something, and I would automatically be like, "Oh, really?" And I would just kind of always have to kind of be in the most playful way, be kind of contrary to what he was. And it's so funny that we ended up, and we would get a kick out of it, we'd make each other laugh, but it's so funny that we ended up the final 2 because when that happened, we looked at each other and went, is this for real? Is this happening right now? Are we the final 2 on the show? Figures, right? So it really helped me kind of like balance who I was like as an artist, my artistic identity. And then Allison was kind of my kindred spirit in the competition as far as she was like the other kind of over-the-top rocker person. So both the way she dressed and the way she sang and the way she approached songs, I think she was kind of my sister in that. And that's why when we got to Rock Week and we were told that we were singing duets, I was like, well, I got Allison. Don't you other 2 boys go near her. She's mine. I asserted myself really strongly in that. I don't think Chris was too happy with me on that one. How do you feel about your image and style perhaps coming first in the public's mind when they hear your name rather than your music or your talent? Is that something you think is just unavoidable, or do you wish it was different? You know, I actually think it's a time will tell type issue. I think that hopefully I will be able to stay around and continue to make music, hopefully for many years to come. And I think now, at this point, it's still kind of a novelty because I am a little different, and so I think people are recognizing how I'm different. The media likes to talk about things like my sexuality because it's novel, because there's not a lot of people that are open and comfortable about that. So I think it's just kind of, it's still new, and that's kind of what people know me as right now. And then hopefully, as time passes, the focus will shift to my music. I know you fans recognize me for my music, and I appreciate that. And ultimately, that's what I do. So it should be the thing that represents me. What time is it? It's that's the time? It's 5:43, so this is live. It's not pre-recorded. Calm down, conspiracy theorists. Chill. Oh. Welcome to the jungle. I'll be doing the entire rest of the chat like that. Is that good? I think it's funny too. Someone brought it in here and they were like, well, it's atmosphere. And I was like, right next to my head? How did the roommates get sorted out of the Idol Mansion? Did you fill out forms with information and likes and dislikes like for college roommates? No, if we're only that respectable. What happened was, before we moved into the mansion, we were in a hotel, and I was living with one of the contestants that I think it was all random. I think they just kind of randomly put us together based on some things like age and personality. They did it for us. And then one of the contestants got voted off, and so I had an open spot in my room, and 2 days went by with nobody in it, so I was like, woo, I get to have my own room for a minute. And then a knock came on my door, and it was Chris Allen with his guitar and his suitcase. He's like, I'm your new roommate. I was like, oh, okay, nice to meet you. So that's how it happened. And then when we moved into the house, like, he and I were getting along so well, and I looked at him, I was like, do you just want to be roommates in the house too? And he was like, sure. So it worked out that way. And he probably, I mean, I have nothing against any of the other idols. We all got along really well, actually, and we got really close this summer. But what was so great about Chris as a roommate is that he's really easygoing and kind of mellow. And I can get really high strung, so I knew that rooming with someone like that would be like easy to deal with. And that was one of the reasons why I liked living with him. Plus he's cute. Since I know you get inspired by films and other music videos, can you describe any visual elements or particular aesthetics that you'd like to incorporate into your future music videos? You know, I love the whole glam thing from the 70s. You guys know that I love like Velvet Goldmine, and I love T-Rex and Bowie and Sweet and Mark Bolan and all that. So I think I would love to explore like the whole glam rock look of the 70s, and actually maybe do a video at some point that looks like it's from the 70s, like make it look old. That'd be kind of cool. I love periods. I love historical periods. I would love to do something that was like very 20s inspired at some point. I also really love the late 60s, early 70s, like the Summer of Love, that whole period, hippies and all that. I can see myself doing that. And then maybe like something really like futuristic too. I like the idea of like time travel as far as the aesthetics go. Mind helping us settle a major debate? If you had to choose just one, Cheetos or ramen? I hate to break it to you guys, but that is crap food. I would not eat either of them. I hate to tell you, but I'm not a junk food guy, and ugh. I don't like Cheetos, and I don't like ramen. Too salty when the ramen. Cheetos turn your mouth orange, and they taste like weird fake cheese. I'm not into it. At an open bar, what is your drink of choice? All of them. Next question. Jewelry is a major part of your personal style. What are some of your favorite pieces? I've been collecting jewelry for a long time, and I've been fortunate enough to get the most amazing jewelry from you guys too. And I have a drawer that I opened up, and I put little jewelry dividers in it, and I just kind of organized it all, and whatever I'm feeling like that day, I'll just throw it on.
What does each one mean?
What I have on now? This is a mood ring that was actually my uncle's, who passed away when I was young, from the 70s, and it does change colors. I guess I'm in like a royal blue mood right now. I don't really know what that means. Here's a little Eye of Horus. This is a ring that my stylist gave me that I really like. This is a ring by my friend Joshua, who has a company called Puja. He's a good friend of mine, and this is his design. There's some snakes. Oops, sorry guys, didn't mean to flick you off. There's some snakes. And this was a ring given to me by a fan. I'm sure she's watching right now. And it is a skull, and it is an Alexander McQueen skull. And he just passed away, so it's really a very cool piece. Here's some bracelets by Nicolina that I love. And here's an Hermes cuff that... Your name starts with an L, and you're so gorgeous, and you give me the sexiest jewelry, and you're from like Russia or East Europe, and I always see you, and I know you by face, but I forgot your name. I'm so sorry. I hope you're not offended. But you know I know who you are. You're probably watching right now. So thank you for all the amazing accessories. And then necklaces. Paula actually gave me this at the end of Idol. It's a little black diamond tag. It's the first time anybody's ever given me diamonds. Thanks, Paula. This is something I picked up on a photo shoot. I think they're little Like they're supposed to look like guitar picks. And I don't know what this is. Stylist gave it to me again. So sometimes, I just get stuff and I put it on. How often do you have to dye your eyebrows? Well, it's kind of like my hair. Every couple of weeks when it starts growing in, because when it starts growing in, it starts looking like salt and pepper eyebrows, which is not cute. I've been inspired by you in so many ways. I've started a series of dance parties to raise money for local nonprofits, and I am in charge of the music. For Your Entertainment and Fever are popular additions. What would be some must-have dance tunes on your ultimate dance playlist? And do you have any secrets to how to get more men to cut off? Do I have any secrets to how to get more men to do what? I'm nervous about what that was supposed to be read as. Thank you for the dance parties. That's awesome. And I love that you're doing that for local nonprofits. That's a great idea. Dance tunes that I love, obviously Gaga is amazing. I really like Goldfrapp's up-tempo stuff. Her dance stuff is great. David Guetta is great for dance music. DJ Fonzarelli, who I have a long history with, he's going to be doing some remixes coming up soon. There's a remix EP that I'm releasing very soon. You guys have to check it out, of For Entertainment and What Do You Want From Me. And there's a couple remixes of each song on there that are really cool. There's a guy named Brad Walsh out of New York who is fantastic. And actually, little known fact, his longtime boyfriend is Christian Siriano from Project Runway. I just met up with them when I was in New York and had a drink with them. So he's a really talented DJ. And I actually met him. I actually hadn't met him yet. I heard his stuff online, heard a remix that he did and really liked it. Found out that he was Christian's boyfriend. Kind of did some more research about him, and then when we were getting For Entertainment remix, I said we should send one to this guy. He's really talented. So I'm glad I found out about him. I don't know what that thing about men. How to get more men to dance? Maybe is the question. Buy them more drinks. Usually works. And tell them you dance with them, and they will dance with you if you dance with them. Now, just for variety, what would you do in the event of a zombie apocalypse? I know they happen all the time. You never know when the next one's going to strike. You know what I would probably do? Because I'm crazy. I'd run up into my bathroom and find the white contacts that I wore on Halloween, throw them in, and be like, I'm one of you. What do you consider your biggest personal strength? And since we're always growing, what area do you like to grow as an individual in? I think right now my biggest personal strength is that I think I am a fairly resilient person. I think that I can get over things quickly, let things kind of go. I hold on to things every once in a while for a little while, but I tend to just kind of be like, okay, next, go. So I don't hold grudges. I don't hold on to things. I let it go. I move forward. As far as what area I'd like to grow in more, I think self-discipline would be probably a good area. I would love to be one of those people that wake up and jog every morning, and I'm not. I would love to be like, no, I can't eat that extra cookie because I'm watching. I need the cookie. When it comes to self-control, I'm a little bit all over the place. Besides performing, is there a secret talent or anything that you can do extremely well? I like to talk to people. I really do. I'm a very social person. I like having parties and or making friends one-on-one and sitting down, having a cup of coffee or a glass of wine and just talking. I've been told that I make people feel comfortable, and on many occasions I can't believe I'm telling you this. I don't tell anybody this thing. And sometimes sometimes they just cry. So I guess maybe if in a different lifetime, if I weren't a performer, I would have gone into psychology or therapy or something, because I like helping people figure out what's up, analyzing and stuff. Yeah. Does it bother you that many of your fans who listen to your music and think you're hot are women over 40? No, why would it bother me? I think that's cool. I think it has a lot to do with the spirit of rock and roll and that individuality. I think that's something that generation saw a little bit more of with their music. I think it's awesome. Why would it bother me? I think you have the most beautiful eyes I've ever seen that appear different colors at times. I want to know what color do you classify your eyes, and what color do you list your eyes and hair on your driver's license? Thank you. That's very sweet. They're blue for the most part, and my hair is listed as like dark brown or black. They do change a little bit though. I've noticed that lately. I think it depends on the eye makeup, what I'm wearing, what's behind me. They kind of go into gray and green land as well. Do you use any sort of exercise routine or other routine to help you deal with the new stresses of your life? Again, probably should jog here and there, but I don't. Maybe I should start doing that soon. Routines to help me deal with stresses. Deep breathing is really helpful. Stretching does feel really good. Like if I'm like really wound up, I find myself just kind of like wanting to stretch. After the New Year's concert, I was really wound up. It was such a great concert. It was our first time doing a live set. And so I went backstage and found a little quiet corner and just kind of sat on the ground and just stretched out and did like a bunch of deep breathing so that I could kind of get back into reality. And it worked. So just being aware of your body and air and breath and circulation are all things that kind of help balance you out. Can you elaborate on the details of the song Voodoo and when will we be able to buy a copy of it? Voodoo will be on the international releases of the album, but also I'm pretty sure that we are going to put it on the remix EP that's coming out, I think, next month. And I just found out that my international version of the album with all these additional tracks will most likely be on sale on my website. So keep your eyes out for that. Voodoo is a song that I wrote with Sam Sparrow. Sam Sparrow's big hit was Black and Gold. It's a great like dance pop song. His album's incredible. He's an Australian guy, but he's based here in LA. And I expressed my love for that song to my management, and they were like, we should look him up and see if he's available to write with. And sure enough, he was, and he's a great guy. And his producing partner, Jesse Rogg, and he and I got together, and we wrote this great song. I love it. It's because you haven't heard it, it's kind of like a dark industrial disco song. It's definitely a dance tune. The vocals are like really smooth and light and kind of breathy, and the beat's kind of like hard and electro. So I think you guys will really like it. One more question. I have one more question. Remember the disco group number on Idol? How come you were the only one not wearing glasses? Yeah, about that. I remember when I finally watched it back, I was like, why are all the guys wearing glasses? They didn't tell me that they were all wearing glasses. I didn't know. Like, they were like handing them out backstage. I was going over the choreography so I wouldn't screw it up. We get out there and everybody has glasses on. And I'm like, oh, now I look like a douchebag who doesn't have the glasses on. Great. I mean, my whole opinion is that people who wear glasses on stage look like douchebags. So I didn't want to look like that. And then they all came out with glasses on, so I felt really stupid. But how was I supposed to give the eyes to the camera if I had glasses on, right? How would that have worked? That was the last question. Was that the last question?
Yeah. Well, bonus round. Yes.
Bonus round!
We have a couple, wait. You have a couple more minutes, so have people email.
Yeah. Okay. Here's what we're going to do. This just in. So I realized that we had to do this really fast, and there's a lot of you that want to ask more questions. So what we're going to do is you guys can email them right away, right now, to this address. Are you ready? adamcontest@19entertainment.com. And Adam Contest is one word, lowercase, at 19entertainment.com. And 19 is the number, 19 entertainment. So send some questions. We're actually going to try to answer them right now. I'm going to answer a couple more that we had before, and we're going to try to pull up these questions in real time. And put your name on there.
What do you want to answer?
Just make these better ones.
If you
people will be able to see the retape of this on your site tomorrow.
Oh, okay. Just so you guys know, you'll be able to see a re-airing of this whole thing on my website tomorrow. Do you believe in the concept of soulmates? And if so, what characteristics do you believe your soulmate would possess? Good question. I don't know. I think I do believe, I have a kind of a fatalistic view on life, and I think sometimes people are sent into your life for a reason. And I think that when you come together in a romantic way, I believe that that's the universe setting up a support system for you, and you were supposed to do it for the other person. I think people come into your life because you're supposed to learn something from them and help them grow, and you're supposed to grow at different times for different reasons. I believe that, I personally believe we have multiple soulmates. I don't think there's just one in this life. I think, especially if you're a transient person and you're traveling and you're going through a big journey, who's to say you can't have 3 different people in your life that really impact you at different times? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some people just have one. Maybe some people have more than one. I think for me, I'm probably going to have more than one. Yeah. And on that note, moving on to the email questions. Hold that thought.
Here you go. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just do a few here. So you can start there. And
Okay. Okay, this is Drew. Do you like any Icelandic artists? Well, Bjork is fantastic. Unfortunately, I don't know any other Icelandic artists. Do you? Bjork's great. Brianna, have you ever checked out the website ONTDAI? What do you think of us? I haven't. I'm sorry. It's, I have to be honest with you guys. I love how passionate you guys are about everything, but sometimes it freaks me out a little bit. Only because it's weird. It's like, oh my God, they're all talking about me. This is so strange. And I love it. I think it's great that you guys are so into it. But I try not to get too wrapped up in what's online. It's scary sometimes. It just makes me a little bit weirded out. But I love getting fan mail. I love all that. And I like that you guys are interested. Oh, and just so you guys know, I just had a meeting before this on-camera thing about a fan club. I want to build a fan club for you guys to be a part of, to offer you special materials, exclusive insider looks at things, discounts and kind of specials on tickets when I start touring, all that. So keep your eyes peeled for that. It's going to be awesome. I'm going to help design all of it from the ground up. I'm going to be involved in every step of it. I may even have my mom run it. How's that? Last question. Oh, I can't answer that question. That's inappropriate. Are you going to be doing any new covers or peaks? What's a peak? Any new covers at the... What? Oh, I see what it is. Wow. One more time, Adam. Ashley asks, are you going to be doing any new covers or peaks at the unreleased songs at your show at the Fantasy Springs Resort next week? Or in a couple weeks? At this point, I don't think so, but I don't know. Come and you'll find out.
We're going to wrap up. We got to wrap up.
Thank you.
That's it?
Yep. Thank you for coming.
I got one more.
Okay.
Oh, okay. This is a good one. Tawny. Adam, Tawny, you're silly. Adam, your thoughts on sporks are relevant to my interests. I think a spork is really a great tool. You can eat soup and salad with a spork. Good question, Tawny. On that note, sporks. You'll each be getting one of those when you join the fan club. An Adam Lambert spork. How's that?
There's
There's one thing. The big rhinestone on the tip of it. Okay. Yeah, thank you guys so much for coming today. Tawny, thanks for letting me make fun of you. This was great. I really enjoyed this, and I hope you guys did too. We've been reading all of your responses, and I'll are there any of them? What are they saying?
They're telling me to shut up and
They're
talk.
All right. Anyway, thank you guys so much for coming. I appreciate it. And
Make sure they tune in tomorrow to see a recap.
yep, it'll be recapped tomorrow on my website. Thank you so much for being here. And how about that? Looks good. Oh, thanks, guys. Adam Spork. I can see it. Sporks. Oh my God, she can see us. Wow. She? Don't look at us. Oh. She loves me in my plaid. I love my plaid too. Thanks. Thanks, guys.